Hey folks, welcome back to another edition of Live from Video Marketing World with Longwell Art. Right now we got a special guest of Owen Video. Hi, I'm Tim Longwell with Longwell Art, where we help you gain health and happiness through creativity. But reignite your creativity today for the most benefit. As I said before, we got Owen Video today. Now, Owen and I have been looking forward to this day. We even juggled things around to make sure that our schedules could match and align.
That's right.
So that we could torture one another in person the ultimate amount of time what we both had available. Owen, it's great to see you. It's finally meet you in person.
Thank you so much, Tim. And I'm so glad to meet you. And as we had said before, or a little bit earlier, it's so nice to sort of get to know somebody online, and you get to know their profile picture and you get to know their YouTube channel. But then when you meet them in real life, there's always kind of like this, are they going to be who they say they are online? And as soon as I met you, you greeted me at the front door. So you're the first person I saw, and it was so neat because I almost like expected that from you, because we did. We were like going back and forth. What days are you free? Are you to be here? So I love that you're here. I love that you're serious about your channel. And I love that who you are online is who you are in real life.
It's the only way I know how to be, and
right.
Why bother to try to be something I'm not?
It's too hard.
And same point for anyone else that wants to do, whether you're wanting to be a creative in art or drawing or video, be yourself. That's the way to be.
Yeah.
There's no benefit in trying to be someone you're not. It just makes you nervous, makes you stumble, you get frustrated and give up.
And it's gonna affect your art, right? Whether you're a painter or a sculptor or a video maker, right? If you are living in inauthenticity, you're gonna be constantly going through this process of like, what would I create if I were a nice person? What would I create if I were a warm person? And that's going to throw off who you really are, right? Not to say that you're this big jerky person, but if you're in the mind of someone else, like if I am Bob, what would I create? And then you're creating this imaginary work as opposed to creating your own work. And so, finding out who you are and understanding who you are, we're adults. Like if you're, 18, 19, 20, like those are prime years to figure out who you really are and then start living that life and being that person consistently across all social media. I remember I was 23 years old and maybe like 25, 26, and that Facebook had just come out. And at that moment, I decided that I would be Owen online. Like I wasn't going to be, race car 57. You know what I mean? I wasn't going to live in anonymity. I was going to live in a place where if you wanted to, you could find me and you would see the same person. And that was when I was an immature little punk. You know what I mean? And it's always certain.
We are live. Are we live?
Yes, we are live. Look at here, folks. We have a very special guest that kind of snuck in on us here. He was kind of lurking over there dealing with business on the other side. Welcome, everyone, for Mr. Derral Eves.
Hey, well, I'll tell you what. I just saw you talking. I'm like, I got to go interrupt him because you always interrupt me.
Such a video bomb. I know.
Well, I will let you have your podcast, or I guess a live video on what?
This is live on YouTube.
Oh, hello. We're live on YouTube.
Google Hangout too. Like this guy.
This is like he's like going all out.
I know. He gets it.
Yeah.
He totally gets it.
Really cool. Well, what are we talking about? No, I was just
Well, what direction do you want to take it, Derral?
And that's the great part about coming to these conferences is, that's Derral Eves, 400,000 subscribers, and he's hanging out with us, and you get to see that Derral is not just this leader in YouTube. He's also like the nicest guy you'll ever meet. You know what I mean? And that's just another amazing part of being involved in this community.
It is. It's really great. I've really grown to appreciate the community that before that I didn't really think about it, because when I started reactivating my channel in the first part of August, I was looking more along the lines of the goal I had of helping others. I wasn't thinking of the other benefits that I give to someone else in the YouTube community, or that they could give me, and that they're just waiting for me to say hello.
Yeah.
And it's a wonderful surprise.
And you know what? Brian G. Johnson has done a great job of cultivating a community based on mutual respect in the Tube Ritual group.
Yes.
And Nick Nimmin has done a great job in his own group, Video Marketing Tips, I think. And Brian and Nick and I and us, we're all real close. Being part of a community is a two-way street. It's not just about what you need, right? And that might be emotional support. It might be technical help. It might be just review or like honest feedback. But it's also about who needs you, right? Because, you know, there are times when you're feeling great and pumped up and you're just very verbose with your positivity and positive feedback. That somebody else needs to hear that from you because they might be, you know, ready to quit, or they might be so frustrated with the work that they've been producing but when you come in and you say, hey, you know, Jim, I love your stuff. It's really been great lately. And then all of a sudden Jim goes, man, I needed to hear that today. You know what I mean? So being part of a community, as you know, Tim, is you know, it's a two-way street. It's not just about what you can get out of the group. It's about what you can put into the group because somebody needs you.
And I love the way Roberto put it. If you've been doing this for 6 months, to the guy that's just starting with zero experience, you are a god.
Yeah.
You have so much to offer them, even though you may think you don't know anything. So that when you...
But the moment you start chatting with them, you know, you might think, oh, I'm not good enough to do a painting channel on YouTube. I'm no Bob Ross, right? Or is it Bob Ross or Rossi?
No, it's Bob Ross. Bob
Ross. Okay, so I'm not Bob Ross, or I'm not, you know, I'm trying to think of this other artist that has all these stores nationwide. But to the beginner who just wants to learn how to paint and you know a couple basic things, you know, yeah, you're a huge resource for them, and you're not overwhelming, right? You know, you look at Bob Ross and it's almost like, wow, like it started off easy, but then as I kept going, it was like, I really can't do this. Whereas, you know, if I'm looking at how to finger paint a desert sky rise, it's like all of a sudden I can do that, you know? And so you become integral to a person's experience.
And that's the thing. Creativity doesn't have to be difficult. And that was one of the focuses of why I changed the direction of the channel somewhat, is that I wanted others to see that childlike wonder, that childlike expressiveness, and the ease that they did it is still available, whether they're 4 or 64.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. There's playtime. We need more playtime, especially as Americans. We spend so much time in the muck of political opinions and debates that don't further us as human beings. They only further entrench us into our own resentment of other people and their beliefs. We need more playtime. We need more time to be, and whether that's walking on the beach, playing volleyball, playing basketball, going to the gym, making videos, and that's my breath of fresh air. That's my art. You know what I mean? We need more of that to cultivate that spirit of creativity that then we can put into our work and expand on what we've been doing in the past.
And that's a fact. And the nice thing too is that once you realize that and you find this creative outlet for yourself, the mental and physical health benefits, with practice, you can enter into what's known as the zone so fast that you gain the same benefits as a practiced Zen meditation program. And most people never realize that that's the case in creativity, but that's why so many artists are literally trapped in their studios, because they can't let go of that zone once they get it. Yeah,
and I know for me, like when I'm in the zone, and I learned this from a business coach, is this same mentality, is how to get yourself into that place. There's a calmness, there's a peace that's there, and you don't want it to leave. And for me, those are some of the best health related. And I've got some health issues. I went through cancer 2 years ago. And so I've got, even now I don't have anything, I don't have any cancer or chemo in my body, but I'm sort of like all that antiseptic washed away things that my body would otherwise need. You know what I mean? And so getting into that place of creativity and creation for me puts me into that place where everything feels right and everything feels good. And then what I produce is good. Doesn't mean it always makes me $1 million, because it doesn't. You know, some of this stuff is just creative expression. Some of these things, even some of these business things that I remember a specific time in February when I was just writing great content, I was creating amazing graphics, I was writing great landing pages, and they didn't all convert the way that I wanted them to convert. But the process was incredible and the end product looked incredible. Some of my best work. It wasn't a good match for the audience at that time, but it's all there. And it's ready to be used again. So getting into the zone and learning how to use these tactics to get into that place is very valuable.
Oh, yeah. And again, that's a large part of why Longwell Art and myself bring you the techniques that Isaac shows on his channel, the techniques I show you on this channel, is so that you can feel and benefit the same way that Owen and I do.
That's right.
And we really hope that you'll give these exercises more credence and give them a try. Make them a part of your experiments, routine. If nothing else.
Yeah.
Another nice thing that you told me something about 3 little characters by name of James and Scottie.
Yeah.
And Ryan. Benjamin.
But close.
Oh, sorry.
Very good. Very good. Yeah. James, Scottie, and Benjamin. Those are my 3 kids. And then I've got an older son who's 10. He's with us half the time. He's with his other dad. And then he's just my wife's. Anyway, I've got these 3 little kids that are just amazing. And they love your channel. They love watching what you do because they love Bob Ross too. I grew these kids up on Bob Ross. And so watching you reminds them of that. And they were just so thrilled to see that they got shots out in your video. So that's awesome.
Well, you told me another little something that they're doing along with it that verifies part of what I've been telling the audience in each video about the type of activity is. It's not just for your creativity, but it also has another benefit of family quality time.
Family
together.
time. Yeah, absolutely. And we're big believers on that. You know, I believe that the time for me to expand on my own life has passed. The moment that I have kids, everything that I do now gets poured into them. And whatever happens in my own private, personal business life is gravy, right? My objective is in these kids. And so many dads are so focused on their own careers while their kids are growing up. And then these kids grow up with dad in the home, but really they were fatherless kids. That's sort of how I grew up. And I love my dad and I respect my dad. And growing up, he learned that lesson. He spent too much time at work and not enough time pouring into us. So we spend this time, their creative time together as a family. My wife's an amazing artist. Her artwork is all over the house and a lot of watercolor and pastels and things like this. And so we spend time at the kitchen table together creating. Oftentimes I'm filming it. I'm filming what we're doing as opposed to actually working with finger paints or anything like that. But the kids, I mean, that time is invaluable to them because they're using that part of their brain while they're feeling this love, this security. And when a child feels those things, they feel empowered. They feel like they can do anything. I send my kids to bed at night with a little saying, and I tell them, you can do anything you want. You can be whoever you want to be. And as long as you follow God, you'll always be safe. And that's the mantra that they go to bed with every night. And so they feel that security during the day. They're reinforced with it at night. And it would be my objective to see those kids grow up and just really look at this world like it's their playpen. I was afraid of the world. I always thought there were things, oh, I can't do that or I can't do this. I don't want my kids to have that. I want them to go forward and do anything they want. And when they fall on their face, they're going to get back up and they're going to try again. That's at least my hope for them.
And that's very admirable. And you're of the generation, because my son is also the same generation, that when I was growing up, there wasn't a focus on family time. Children were meant to be seen and not heard. Yeah. There were just a lot of societal difference. And the parents today take a more active role that they were intended, and it shows in their children.
Yeah.
The teachers remark on it, the neighbors remark on it and everything. And it all boils down to creativity and reinforcement of their environment and feeling appreciated for their efforts.
Yeah, I agree.
It's been really wonderful on this. We kind of went from where we started off here about to the video marketing world to talking a little bit about family and creativity and everything here. But you came for a reason today, and it wasn't just to meet me, although I would be flattered if it was. And that was for what?
To speak today, is that what you're referring to? Yeah, I was a speaker here and I spoke on live streaming for businesses and how to use live streaming to grow your business. My career path has been tumultuous, from age 18. Actually, I've been working since I was about 16, and for about 10 years I was a waiter, and after that I had some other sales jobs, but I kept getting fired everywhere that I went. And so entrepreneurialism was the route for me, and there was no other way to go. And video made that possible. It was the first couple of videos that I made that absolutely propelled my business. The year that I started my business, I was a six-figure business. We never really struggled financially. I mean, you make money, but you don't always get to keep the money and taxes and all this kind of stuff. We didn't always spend it wisely, but we always had jobs coming in. We always had clients, and it's only grown from there. And so I'm a big proponent in video, and I'm a big proponent of the things that we're talking about here about who you are on the inside, because that will naturally pour out into who you are on the outside. And so you work on what's in here, and it will make what you do on video even better.
Okay, now I'm going to ask you the same question I've asked every other person that's appeared with us today so far. If there was one point you've learned up to this point from the speakers that have been here, excluding yourself, of course, what point you wished you knew yesterday?
Oh, you know what? I'll tell you, the Instagram, Josh the juggler was talking about these Instagram tips, and I love Instagram. I believe in Instagram, and I want to see it thrive. I want to see my presence there thrive. And a lot of what he was talking about don't use text, make your images more beautiful. It's not just about schlepping stuff up on Instagram, which is kind of what I've been doing. Take a shot and let people know I'm there. That was a big takeaway for me is focusing on the beautiful thing. Find the beauty in it, as opposed to just taking the shot. And that's something I'm going to work on a lot more, and not just my Instagram, but also in my videos.
Well, and that makes an interesting point that comes to me on it, because during your delivery today, you mentioned about doing it video with a purpose or don't go live. Yeah. You've got to have a purpose to what you're doing. So many times we just, I need a video, or I should do something to get more leads. You know what I mean? You've got to really think about what it is that you're doing and what it is that you're promoting, and how are you bringing people back to business with you. Okay, and we'll do one last question, then we're going to get back to the conference here, because there's just tons of information and you really don't want to miss any of it if you can help it. What advice regarding video would you give an artist that hasn't started using video yet? Document the process. You start using video to document your process. Whether you're, put a camera behind you and watch yourself paint. There's a great animator. I don't know his name. He's brand new, but I saw his post on Facebook that said, I just figured out how to put a camera above my animation disc so I can. John C. Okay, so you saw that. Okay, yeah. So he was saying like, I finally did it, and I get mesmerized by that. Your art, it's not about you. And a lot of artists focus on themselves, and it's part of the artistic process. Do it for them, right? Do it for someone else, right? Just put a video up of you making art that other people can see, and allow them to experience your process. And that is going to turn and blossom into new ideas that you can use in the future. But that's my biggest piece of advice for artists specifically, is put the camera up, and you could even, at the end of the day, you could fast forward and make a time lapse of it. There's a lot you could do, but right now, do it just to do it and to put it out there. Somebody is going to see that. Some stay-at-home mom is going to see that and go, I want to start painting again. I want to start drawing again. And now you're out there. Now your spirit has touched others, and that's a big thing. And that's a lot behind, again, why this channel is in the direction it takes. Thank you, Owen, for the wonderful
So good to be here,
time with
Tim.
you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Great being with you. And
Can't wait to
getting
hang out more
out.
for the rest of the conference. Yeah.
And
good to see you guys too.
we'll be back later. We got a few more surprises, although one kind of injected himself rather pleasantly already. In the meantime, you continue to create, but most of all, you be sure and have fun.
Awesome.